All right, choo-choo! Everybody hop on the MVP Black Sign tour bus here because that was amazing. At first, we were like, hey, Team Tempest, they're simply not dying. MVP Black must feel so frustrated. But then again, they just turned it around with that last mosh pit and that last tour bus, guys. What a game!
I mean, a fantastic finish to a fantastic game. I mean, it looked good and then it looked great. I mean, the ending to that alone, this was a back and forth. I mean, this is exactly, I think, what I expected to see out of this series. And right now, 1-1, it seems to be living up to the hype.
The score in that game for basically the entirety of it was like one kill off of each other. The EXP was dead. Even when a game is this close, the game will be decided by a late game team fight. And that's what that tour bus allowed.
This is my favorite game of the tournament so far.
Yeah,
and I know we're going to have more good ones, but we were sitting out in the audience and we kept being like, I think we should go back now. Wait, maybe not. I think we should go back now. And then the minute that mosh pit came out, we were like, go, 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 go.
And
it was awesome.
You should have seen the reactions of the people sitting here in the crowd. Everybody was going bananas. I mean, there was so much emotion and so much excitement in one game that I actually can't wait to see what the other games have in store for us. J-Ho, replay number 1, do your thing.
Replay number 1, let's go ahead and pause it real quick. They were committed to this fort, so much so to a fault. You see the zoning Phoenix up there. It allowed for them to stay in. But the problem is that we see Tempest go ahead and rotate around. They decided they'd collapse. Hyde coming in on the backside. And now MVP all of a sudden is stuck in the middle. The force walls causing all kinds of problems. And this was just a weird spot for MVP to be in. Something that we didn't necessarily see. Something to look for is Rich has no healing and nobody to use his whirlwind on. Gets caught out just a little bit. And you can see Dami coming in and helping to secure the kill. And then the follow-up with the Kerrigan combo. And so this was kind of a weird spot. Tempest looking very strong. Had the 13-12 advantage at this point. And we see Sign going up, but down at the bottom, hold on a second. Kyocha in a lot of trouble. There's 7-sided strike and an ancestral that you couldn't believe lands. And then for good measure, bam! There it goes. Down goes ETC. Nice follow-up. A beautiful rotation from Tempest to be able to come around, get the flank in, and then they followed up and got 3 kills out of it.
Hyde and Lockdown, brothers together, keeping each other in check. But I really have to say, I think at this point in time, after watching that game, we could say that Dami is the best player in the world, the best individual player. His team backs him up, and we just saw incredible Kerrigan out of him. Just so hyped to see how well he's going to do for the rest of his Heroes of the Storm career.
And there's just so much more to see here, Jay. How replay number 2 in this grand finals, of course, is ready.
I think we got what you guys want. As Dami in quite a bit. He's going to get isolated here in just a moment. The force wall kind of keeps it. Pause it real quick. He's the only one. We see the rest of his team kind of on the outside, and this is something. They were looking for the isolation, and of course, going with the 7-sided strike. I believe that was impacted by the level 20, and we'll go ahead and look forward. That shield is so high, it just keeps him alive in a tough situation. He's able to jump out. Now, here comes the moment. You guys pause it. Rewind it. Go back just a couple frames. Mosh pit only catching 1, and this is how legends are made as we roll it forward. He's going to go ahead and use that tour bus, slides into position, and now all of a sudden you go from 1 to 3. But wait, Han Kono says, hold on, I need to try and help my team. Wait a minute. I'm here too, and he gets stunned out, and the rest of everybody goes down.
Running some living bombs there, very nice gesture, you know.
Just spread it around, and that right there, I couldn't believe the impact that it had.
Hey, a warrior player goes down with his team, man.
A captain does not abandon the ship, right? Oh my God. I mean, those were without a doubt the most stellar plays that we have seen in this tournament so far. Both teams playing at their absolute limit, guys. I mean, I can't even wait to see what these teams are going to pull off in the other games. And guys, keep in mind, this is the best of 5. It's not nearly over just yet. We will see another map very soon. In fact, it's going to be revealed here. Purple means Cursed Hollow. And of course, that means we're going to have a lot of choke points, a lot of boss fights potentially. And with these mosh pits on deck, I wouldn't actually be surprised to see an ETC ban.
We've seen so much out of ETC all weekend, but at the same time, we've seen a lot out of several heroes. Yeah. I mean, this is a map. We've gone from Battlefield to Infernal to now Cursed Hollow, and the fact that each of these maps offers something different, it creates a different strategy every single time.
I think the heroes to be looking at here are Falstad, obviously Lockdown's Falstad, the gold presence on this big map, Kyocha's Abathur, And of course, really looking at the ETC you're talking about, I don't know if we're going to see him prioritized highly because of the fact that this map has such a large space between the lanes. He's not as useful at roaming. Sylvanas, though, another hero to look out for because she can split push the lane so hard, especially if Falstad is taken away.
ETC maybe, though, because of the aspect that there are 2 bosses on this battleground, and if they want to have the control from that. But there are lots of other heroes that do that, too, like Sundering from Thrall. Of course, we've seen a lot of Holy Grounds from Tyrael be really impactful in those fights. And, again, you mentioned Falstad, not only for his global presence, but the Mighty Gust to stop a boss pickup.
I think this is a Kael'thas ban. Kael'thas is getting too much value throughout this entire tournament. And
nice.
And there it is. I mean, it's just like, it's pretty obvious now. The tougher one here is we're not necessarily going to see the screen burn in Illidan. We might actually see a Falstad ban.
Okay, Tempest has prioritized Muradin first pick on each round. Are they going to go into Falstad, which seems like the likely first choice for either of these teams, but they've been in love with Muradin so far.
Right.
I think there's a possibility of that. I don't know if you really have to prioritize him here that much because you don't know what Bruiser MVP Black is going to be taking yet. He doesn't have as much value, and I think the Falstad, just because of all his global presence on this map, his ability to gust, his global presence, his ability to deny boss steals, to steal bosses, it's his best map.
Gilly, what was, or Wolf, what was Lockdown's winning streak or winning score on Falstad
He's
again?
9-1, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so pretty impressive stuff there, and definitely a comfort pick to go with here as well.
MVP Black are very quick to pick up Muradin and Greymane, and with the potential of an MVP Black Abathur, that opens up for double Greymane, which is right now your favorite target to hit with that clone because he just does so much damage, and you have to deal with it. You have to deal with it or it will obliterate your backline.
I think taking ETC here for boss control is important. They're not going to be using him necessarily for early control of the lanes. They show him they're looking at Sonya instead, so this might just simply be Sonya Rhaegar, classic Tempest style. And Rhaegar, obviously, if he goes for Wolf movement speed, he's going to be able to roam around the map a lot. And even Feral Heart allows him to roam around so much between the lanes, constantly hitting without having to hearth back home as often.
I think it's a much safer pick, as you just talked about. Obviously, if ETC does get banned out, there's still a number of heroes that they can go into. We've seen the Tyrael play, especially on this map. And so I think that gives them a little bit more flexibility to go with something much stronger. Wolf, I think you hit it right here. I love the early draft here from Tempest.
Now, if Black bans ETC here, I think it might be a mistake because we could be looking at a Tyrael pick. Okay, see this, I was thinking maybe if they ban ETC, then Tempest goes into a Tyrael, they go into a dive-oriented comp, and they can actually just go with a different warrior. They might even have thought about going for a Nubarak. This is a better ban. And look at the Abathur ban.
Yeah, you have to, man. Those Greymane clones are ridiculous to deal with.
And I mean, MVP Black is a notorious Abathur user. I mean, they like to run that hero, and they like to be like split soaking, split pushing, and of course cloning Greymanes potentially, as Gilly pointed out.
Yeah, when it's in the meta, it's Coach's favorite hero.
Yeah.
I love that they're picking up Kharazim, or possibly picking up Kharazim. They might be debating this between him and Uther, but I honestly feel that Kharazim lends a lot more to that dive-heavy comp to be able to move back and forth between Greymane. Obviously, Thrall able to keep himself alive. Muradin, he is tough to take down, but Tempest, we've seen some Li Ming play so far, and she does tend to lean towards, I guess, a little bit higher priority over some other heroes. I feel that they have a strong front line with Sonya and whoever they go with, but is it strong enough to see that you're okay with Li Ming? But with Greymane on the other side, that might make it a difficult choice.
I'm going to grab ETC again. I think this is mostly for boss control.
We're looking at Duck, right?
Yeah, that's the question. I think we're just going to see a Sylvanas here, because that's the only hero that's really left for Duck to play that fits his role. They already have the global presence of Falstad, so that means that nothing can deny Sylvanas. I think this is a perfect choice. They already took Abathur away as well, so much extra split push pressure here for Tempest. They have good late game team fights, and without Tassadar, or without Kharazim, they don't want to grab Tassadar for the isolation for 7-side strike or anything like that. I think this is a perfect pick for Duck as the 5th and final choice.
Are we going to see 7-side strike again, by the way, guys?
Whoa, what up?
Here she comes. I mean,
I hear the crowd there hyping.
Racer's here.
I mean,
That is a terrible impersonation.
Thank you, Gilly, for your kind words.
No, but in all seriousness, guys, what does this mean for the playstyle coming in here from MVP Black? Was that a counter to a certain pick, or were they just completely trying to surprise Tempest here with a niche pick?
I think this is a counter to Sylvanas. This is going to be the Sylvanas hunter. She's going to build up her charges, of course, for her pulse bomb. She's going to be looking for kills on Sylvanas. You can't, E away. You can't wind runner away from a pulse bomb charge if it sticks on you. You die no matter what if that happens, and I think that's really what they're looking at here. It's almost like a Zeratul pick. and it can roam around the map and look for the hunts on the Sylvanas.
And I mean, Sylvanas, with her Banshee wave, of course, is very mobile. But guess what? Who's the queen of mobility? It is Tracer. She has so much like dash potential, J-Ho. What do you make of this pick here?
I'm not sure that I make a lot of it. I'm trying to figure out how this works. Yes, it works on Sylvanas. Oftentimes we do see it as a counter to Li Ming. Keep in mind that there's no Tassadar. Normally she gets pre-shielded in certain metas. In this one, I think it's pretty much going all in.
Yeah.
But the last time they played her, it was in the first stage, and it was with much of the same composition. The only difference is they have Greymane instead of Kael'thas. The rest is the same. So I think this is just generally a difference between NH Tracers, where we always see Tassadar with, versus the MVP Black Tracer, if you will.
It feels like MVP Black is putting a lot into the dive from Greymane and Tracer to get to that back line, to really pick apart the back line. The problem is that Sonya and ETC, I think, create a lot of problems when they do try and get that. Now, obviously, Tracer can get around, and Cursed Hollow is a good map because the amount of terrain allows her to strategize her blinks and then, of course, get the recall out. So if she can get good value out of that, then I think it's a winning situation, but it's also very difficult to make that happen.
All right, guys. Tracer has entered the Nexus. What is your prediction, J-Ho?
2-0 so far, and I'm about to make it 3-0 because I'm going Tempest.
All right, Wolf.
I'm absolutely going to go with Tempest with this draft.
And Gilly.
Tracer, I'm going with MVP Black.
It's a hard one for sure, but I'm not really sold on the Tracer just yet, but I would like to be, persuaded otherwise. So I'm going with Tempest here to make it a 2-1 in this grand finals of the Heroes of the Storm Summer Championship. Everything's on the line for those teams, and Dreadnought and Calder, they got you covered when it comes to the casting. So boys, take it away.
We were looking at two fantastic games, and I was wondering, how can you top that? And then we see this draft happening.
The Tracer. That is going to add, gosh, Keocha's got to play out of his mind. He had a very impressive Tracer earlier in this tournament, though. So I think he will be able to make that comeback here.
We've seen it against the weaker teams, but right now he is playing it against none other than Team Tempest. It's the third game in the best of 5. Here at the grand final, Lockdown for Tempest is on Falstad. We have Hyde on Rhaegar, Dami on Sonya, Duck on Sylvanas, and Hong is playing ETC this time.
And for MVP, we are going to have Rich playing the Thrall, Karazim played by Meriday, Sake on the Greymane, Sign on the Muradin, and the only Tracer played by Keocha.
I really wish I could make a Tracer impression, but I would not only embarrass myself, but also her.
It would just be so bad. Like, I can't, like, I thought about it, and I was just like, I can't do this. Like,
I was like, it's going to be next level bad. I'm not going to risk that.
It's not even my own embarrassment. It's literally just, like, for the sake of this game. Like,
exactly, and also for the audience. I mean, the cringe would be real. I can't promise you that much. We have the pushing pressure at the bot lane on the other hand, and this is, of course, what you're oftentimes looking for with the Sylvanas in your team.
Yeah, just because she can disable those structures and it's such a large map that you can get the dismount like you saw Hankono get to ensure that his team backs out and get alive. So just a little bit of free value here. But other than that, I do expect to see MVP looking to make a couple of rotations, try to be aggressive with the Tracer and get that harassment. I think Wolf put it best when I think it'll be kind of Zeratul-esque style play coming up from the Tracer, trying to get that harass, the ganks, the poke onto her opponents.
We've seen a couple of Tracers this tournament, and most of the time it was just absolutely amazing to see how she was dashing around the entire time. In the hands of a good player like Keocha, she is, of course, such a destructive force for the backline. She is a huge threat with a blow-up potential. And on level 1, we already have the Pulse Strike for the melee pulse bomb charge.
Yeah, and both these teams trying to bait in the mid lane. You see Hyde going in, or actually dodging the Stormbolt. Keocha going in as well, trying to get harassed here. But he's going to take a decent amount of damage, have to get that Q out of there and survive with that blink.
I really love that we have Cursed Hollow as the third map. I absolutely love casting this map. There's so many things happening here. It's not only about the curses. You can just let a tribute go if you have to. You can also like accept the curse depending on the situation. There's bosses on the map, and there are these rotations, and one of those is already up at the top lane, hitting Sonya hard. Lockdown is there to at least take over experience, but this is the first kill in the game for MVP Black.
And again, those ganks that we see out of Keocha followed up with Sign, and now we see Hyde under the pressure. They're trying to get the body block a little bit with her ability to have absurd mobility with the blink here. But right now, MVP Black is doing a very good job just moving around the map and manipulating the lack of wave clear and just dominance in the laning phase that Tempest has with their comp.
Yeah, and so far this series has been absolutely beautiful. I mean, in game number 2, for a moment we were worried a little bit for MVP MVP Black, but they came back and they showed everyone what they are made of. Tempest, they look incredibly strong, but now we're going to see on Cursed Hollow one of these two top teams from Korea taking the lead in the finals. The level 4s are there for the both of them, and the stage is set for Tribute #1.
Yeah, and just right now, I do like the fact that we see MVP picking up the night camp. It's going to be a little bit harder for them to clear. It's one of those things where it goes to the mid lane, so it doesn't get as much value, right? In the sense that it could spawn on the opposite side of the map, but it takes far longer to get the clear, so you usually gain more value out of it. And you see the rotation here. Honkono actually sniffed this out. He's going to try and get a little bit of counterplay when it comes to the bottom shrine.
Charism on level 4, picking up the protective shield, helping out Tracer, of course, with it. The level 4 talent for herself is the parting gift, but here's the lockdown attempt against Sign. Already the pulse bomb used against Kona, pushing ETC back a little bit. Dark with the attempted channel as Kyocha jumps in deep, has to move out though, is on half health, and both teams taking a lot of damage here. It's a 4 versus 4 as Thrall and Falstad are still up at the top lane.
And the night camp now starting to gain value on the front wall here. Both these teams kind of backing, getting a little tap and trying to get their harassment in. I really feel like Kyocha's got to get a lot of value out of his positioning when it comes to this tribute. We saw him only get the pulse bomb onto ETC. He needs to do a better job of making sure he applies pressure to Lockdown or onto Sylvanas.
Lockdown flying down. As you mentioned, this camp in the mid lane is getting a lot of value, and they felt they needed to go for the tribute, so they rotated the 5th man down and trying to take it, but Thrall is now here too. It's a 5 versus 5, and this mid lane camp is still doing solid work.
Yeah, I'm surprised how long we've seen Tempest actually sending Falstad all the way bottom, not getting a clear on the mid lane. They are getting a decent amount of XP now at this point. And MVP is just looking to delay and just wait till Kyocho gets his heroic up and is able to get it onto a target that can give him kill potential.
Level 7 is so close right now, and with all those wave clear heroes that we have now, all of a sudden, it looks like an extra talent is going to be picked up by MVP Black to turn the tides of the fight in their favor.
Yeah, and now we see Honkono actually moving to the mid lane. He is not the target that wants to be making that rotation. It should be good for MVP Black to get the isolation. You see them moving up to get the isolation. Rich actually going to be able to get this channel, all because of that rotation there. So good job from MVP Black abusing the map, but then also I feel like a little bit of poor rotation out of the side of Tempest.
They felt a little bit indecisive here. They had a few choices where they could have just moved into the middle of the map, clear the camp first, and then rotate Falstad down. They had the time to do that since Thrall had to move all the way up from the top, but they moved Falstad back to base first, flew in for the tribute fight. I really think that the thought process was pick the tribute fast with a 5 versus 4 advantage, move into the middle, but MVP didn't allow that, and all of a sudden, a kill against Sylvanas. He has that chase potential.
Yeah, Kyocha just doing a very good job getting that harass on her. She can't get the haunting wave away. And with that kill, they're going to be able to take out the front wall here. So right now, MVP Black has done a great job. I feel like they've had a large control over this game. Yes, they don't have necessarily the biggest experience lead over their opponents, but realistically, with all the kills, the rotations, and I mean, now what I think is going to be a second tribute for them, they are in a great position in this game.
They're currently forcing their game onto Tempest. They take the night camp, they push the mid lane, they go for tribute #2 after they take already the Siege Giant camp, which is again getting value at the bot lane. It forces Sonya to stay longer. Now up at the top, they're going to grab a second tribute. They have level 8 versus level 8. It's still the same experience, but it is that second tribute that we have for them.
But guess what? In the mid lane, Honkono was able to secure the kill here. Kyocha going in to try and get the harassment onto Hyde. He will be falling down here. Will be more here. Duck taking the pressure as well, but Kyocha is going to just blink out. The recall.
Well played by Kyocha. Really well done. And that was a close call too. Once they saw the recall, they immediately turned around and were trying to snipe her. Not successfully though. With Sylvanas, they attempt for the push, and as Sign is being pressured, they break through the wall.
Rich is getting a flank over here, so if it isn't successful with this dive, I expect them to be able to get the kill. Honkono is going to be falling down already, and now they're going to be on the chase. The entire team moving forward.
Oh, Dummy is in trouble. He's in a lot of trouble at that. Kyocha with a kill secured once again. 5 kills against 1. Tempest at some point just decided, guys, we're done with this. We're going to stop reacting to them. You're pushing the mid lane right now. They break through the wall, but they forced it a bit too far.
Yeah, now the tribute's going to be spawning while MVP Black has been able to secure level 10. I love this choice from Hyde, though. He's going to be getting this Giants and is going to essentially just make the curse non-existent on the upper lane here. They almost directly counter the cursed lane. So this is a smart choice from them. It's going to minimize the damage that they're going to be able to do when it comes to getting this curse. But oh my goodness, Lockdown.
Close. Lockdown dead, and ETC not getting the interrupt. He was so close of interrupting the channel, but it doesn't work out. And now that's the worst case scenario. A hero down for another 15 seconds. A 5 versus 4 on the map. All lanes pushed. As Strat pointed out, the top lane camp at least is going to help with the deep push a little bit, but we have them split on all lanes to secure extra experience.
Yeah, that's a lot of experience that we might see Tempest lose if they don't make the rotation of those lanes once the curse actually ends. that is how the biggest leads on Cursed Hollow really happen, is when you neglect the side lanes and the amount of XP that can exist in them. So we'll see if they make that rotation. Meanwhile, Rich is going to come down and do what Rich does on Thrall, aka kill your team, and Kyocha is just doing an absurd amount of harass.
Very well done here, though. Even using the mosh pit, they really wanted their kill. They secured with the mosh pit so they get a counter kill. The bot lane fort has been eliminated. Rich is at the top lane, trying to go through the siege giants and clearing the waves. We have level 12 versus level 11, but with a 5 versus 4, Tempest is attempting to go for the first boss of the game.
Yeah, and they are a man up here. 7 seconds until Murden even gets the respawn, but everybody is rotating here from MVP, trying to take the risky choice, what I believe here. They do have 7-sided strike, but outside of that, they have very little control.
There's Gust still available. There should be no problem for Tempest to actually pick this. Here's Kyoja trying to cause a ruckus already. Dark Duck is there. Here is immediately the attempt to go for it again, but the Wailing Arrow is already hitting hard. It hits everyone. We have Karazim going down, and they're attempting to chase Sake now down. Karazim, there we jumping in again, and maybe, yes, that's the kill against Greymane, who wanted to secure a victory for them with a counter kill against Hong. It doesn't work out, though, and Sign is now also on the run. MVP overextending for a potential boss that they lose, and this is bye-bye advantage.
That was a, I mean, risky call to say the least out of MVP Black, knowing that your opponent still had Gust available. And it's an early boss, right? It's not that it's going to even gain that much in this situation. And all they've done is really capitalize. But great job here from Tempest here. They just keep the pressure on. Rich is trying to run away here. I don't know if he's going to be able to get out here. There's a decent amount of damage coming up from Lockdown. He is pretty as well. Duck doesn't have the best chase potential, so he does give up.
Good job there. Very well done. Wolf looks them down, and immediately we're having Rich just mounting up and getting away. But as we already said, Tempest, all of a sudden, they are back on track. We had a huge kill advantage for MVP Black. We had them in a very nice position. The early boss wouldn't have done too much. But all of a sudden, Tempest is even inexperienced. They're taking camps on the map. They eliminated the bottom fort. Level 13s for both of the teams. MVP is making their own life unnecessarily difficult.
Yeah, they were dominating this map, getting more picks than their opponents, taking out more structures. It seemed like the rotations were better, even getting all 3 of the first tributes. But none of that really matters when they decided to take that boss fight. That was very risky for them, losing it. Now, Tempest is perfectly even with them, having almost identical structures across the board, XP and talents here. MVP Black only has a bit of a lead when it comes to the experience.
MVP Black now, of course, with the level 13 talents, also in a position where they can use Kyoja for a bit more wave clear, thanks to the bullet spray that they're going to use. We have them still in a bit of a lead, but now it's another fort in the mid lane. And keep that Sylvanas, of course, in mind. She's going to get huge value out of these pushes and is attempting to do exactly that. The entire team is assembled to take down another structure, but Tribute number 4 is spawning on the map down to the bottom.
But Rich is actually getting isolated on the upper half of the map. Dami is trying to trace him down. Meanwhile, you see Kyocha and the rest of the team getting onto lockdown. He will be falling down with the go through the throat. Sake is going to be backing out. Huge 4-man Wailing Arrow Color, but it's not going to matter.
What happened there? How did he die? I mean, it was so obvious that he would be chased, and Rega, there was absolutely nothing that he could do. No ancestral attempt. Here comes the great mosh pit, by the way, but where's the damage, Jed? Where's the damage?
His entire team is going to be dead at this point. Sundering is going to hit 2 people, isolating what is going to be Hong Kono here, and the rest of the team is going to be backing out. Now this is going to be a boss for free here for MVP Black, an entire level lead, and what could be a tribute with Kyocha making the rotation.
It was very, very awkward to see Falster die there. It really feels that Rega could have turned around at any moment and hit that Ancestral. They were trying to retreat here, but Falster dead. He even had his... Did he have his Mighty Gust?
I believe that it was, yeah, I mean, it wasn't used, so I'm going to say yes in that type of situation. A lot of it felt like the split decision-making that MVP Black made Tempest make. They showed that their communication was not at the level to be able to deal with the composition that you see MVP Black, right? Because their skirmishes, their weird skirmishes like that thrive. You can't do that to Thrall. He will 1v1 you. He will 1v2 you usually. And then same with Tracer.
And it shows once again that both of these teams really punish mistakes. And we have seen Tracer just going for those weak targets. And it's such a blow-up potential if you just move in real quickly. You drop the ult, and that is so much that Tracer can do here to put the pressure on. And if you have follow-up damage with a Greymane, with a Thrall, with a 7-sided, you can really blow heroes away and out of the orbit, especially now that we already have the heavy impact for the Dwarf. We're seeing Soothing Breeze actually taken for Karazim. over the potential extra heal.
That is something that we see very, very rarely here. I'm guessing it's going to be the response to the Mighty Gust so they can get on that boss control. Gust going to be coming out here as well. 7-side is already going to be burnt, Coldor.
Yeah, 7-side didn't do a whole lot here. Wailing Arrow coming out as well. They had to retreat for a moment. The boss is about to be blown away, and MVP realizes that they cannot overstay their welcome here. They have to move back, but it seems like Tempest is not done yet. They're attempting to chase someone down here. Sign seems to be out of range though, and MVP should be able to escape here.
They're going to be trying to get this tribute, but I don't think they're going to be able to. You see Honkono being very aggressive. Yes, he will be able to get the zone. Meanwhile, Sign, keep in mind, MVP Black still has a level 16 advantage here. Tracer is yet to get her heroic quite up yet, so that is going to be something they are worried about when it comes to the kill potential on the backline.
Avatar has also been popped earlier. It's still on cooldown, but we are seeing Karazim with the 7-sided strike back up in another couple of seconds. A lot of heroics also burned on the side of Tempest, but they have that mosh pit still up, and that can of course be a game changer if Hong gets it in. But right now, Black still aiming for that tribute. Here comes that stun. ETC is watching. On the other side, once more the interrupt. Both of the teams just poking away, and we will see level 16 any moment now for Tempest.
I absolutely love that Kyocha keeps going in that chokehold, splitting the decision-making out of Tempest. That is why they won the last team fight and why I think they will this one. Keep in mind, Tracer as well, just getting heroic, so now she does have that 1v1 potential we've been looking for.
Yeah, she does have that. We're having 16 on the other hand.
Speaking
Echo
of,
there we have it. They're going in. Falstad is down, and Tracer is making it happen. The Sundering up at the top, and immediately the 7-sided strike taking down ETC. What a fight. The ancestral attempt, but everybody blown to pieces. Hyde rushing away. He is down too. Here comes the Wailing Arrow. Too little, too late. Kyocha is attacked, but it is the 5 versus 2. They at least get the kill against Tracer, but that should be the end of it as Duck is now being chased. Rich is not gonna let him go.
That's slow. He's gonna be able to survive.
Oh my god.
The slow that came out there from the shots that deterred him from this, but they are gonna be able to secure the tribute. And because they spent so long chasing, I don't think they're gonna secure a boss either. Instead, MVP Black is only gonna be able to rotate through the mid lane here and get this middle forward. They are greatly ahead when it comes to the XP though.
Yeah, and also, I mean, they are forcing a curse upon the opponent again with another tribute. So right now, Tempest really has to fight for those. They can't make these choices any longer. They can't just sit there and say like, hey boys, we're gonna let this one go. Another curse is going to hit them if they lose one more. And that actually puts MVP in a position where they can simply say, we're going to let the next one go, and we're only going to fight over a tribute once that we have level 20 secured for ourselves and have a massive lead. So Tempest is forced into a loss-loss situation.
Yeah, it's one of those, that's kind of the beauty or the downfall to Curse Solid, depending on how you look on it, and why shot calling can be so important when it comes to this map specifically, because sometimes you can always just like perfectly out-rotate your opponents in these really tough situations to gain everything all at once because they make that one minor misplay. So we'll see how that turns out. While this tribute is spawning on the bottom half, probably a good thing for Tempest, largely because now they don't have to worry about the boss versus curse trade-off. In this situation, they can defend both of them, but they really need to make something happen. Tracer is about to secure her heroic once more, and I expect Kyocha to 1v1 Lockdown or Sylvanas anytime in this fight.
MVP has all the time in the world right now. They, of course, go again for interrupts here. They can just, like, pay it. Like, they have the patience. They have all the position in this world now. 19 versus 17 and a half. The bush is already full with heroes on Tempest's side. They hope for an easy pick, but I very much doubt that MVP is going to give them one.
Look at the patience from these teams. They're trying to just figure out where their opponents are going to be moving and where they can make something happen. They are moving down to the bottom half of the map. I think that would be a better fight for MVP more than anything. They want to have those chokeholds that Kyocha can try and get a flank somewhere onto their opponents. She needs to make something happen. You see Honkono actually rotating to try and deny that from them, doing a great job isolating Sake completely.
Sake is being attacked. The tribute has been channeled through. It's 19 versus 17. Here comes another attack. Sign goes in. Lockdown is there. Kyocha is missing his ult and taken down. MVP taking a fight that they don't really have to take, and they're currently getting punished. It's a 5 versus 4. Sign trying to jump away. Hyde is high on his heels and is attempting to lock him down now too, as Lockdown flies in and takes him apart. MVP. Dread, did they really have to fight here? They were so close. They have 2 tributes. Couldn't they just simply let it go? It feels like they gave Tempest an opportunity to come back.
I think it looked appealing. Honestly, I would give credit to Lockdown. I feel like he outplayed them. He barreled perfectly to dodge Kyocha's heroic, which was what they were banking on. They wanted him to get the 1v1, get the kill onto the Falstad, but instead he was just like, well, I'm just going to juke this really quick, and secured it for his team. Now you see one boss being taken for the side of Tempest, and then the mosh pit's too early, though. The boss isn't going to die. And roots him. He goes down, and he will be taken out. MVP Black now. They're in the upper position here. Wow, that was
This could have been so good for Tempest. This could have been great just a moment later. The others were nearly there if he waits until the boss is down.
I have never had a not like this moment as hard as that one. Like, that was so close to being a legendary play there from Honkono. He's been playing so well, but now they have a boss and a curse for MVP.
Yeah, he just absolutely missed the chance to make himself immortal in this game now. We have another hero down. 16 kills against 8. They're level 20, and here is the curse as a result. One hero down, one talent down. No way Tempest can contest it. They let it go, and this is the second curse that is hitting Tempest. Tempest has only secured a single tribute in the entire 17-18-minute game.
Yeah, this is still a redeeming quality for Tempest in this position as they have Giants threatening the upper half of the map. Again, it's not going to do anything. All it's going to be doing is just essentially making that curse not relevant in the upper half of the map. MVP, though, is being very aggressive. Tempest is not 20, so they're just going to be giving up this keep. Very well done from them. I would like to see MVP try to make more out of this, at minimum of a secondary keep.
Yeah, I would absolutely love that too. I mean, they have to make something work right now because soon enough it's going to be 20 versus 20. The curse helps them. They feel like they're just trying to go for the camps right now. We have them with the heroics, transgression, there's the total recall. Also, of course, the Hunter's blunderbuss, taking the extra value from the Quicksilver bullets on level 7, the extra splash and the increased range on the human basic attacks. This is just amazing. It's a really nice comfort for Greymane to have that combo.
Yeah, and again, because those Giants were pressuring in the upper lane, they have no minions that you could possibly rely on when this curse goes down. That's something you can use as a strategy, right? Like, oh, you're disabling a little bit, but look how big the minion wave we've managed to build up is, and then you finish the rest of that keep. But because MVP never was able to clear those until then, they weren't in that position. So now it really comes down to the bosses. Those are always the win condition when it comes to Cursed Hollow. Those are really what's going to be threatening the end of the game here. And boss control goes in favor of Tempest, but with how well Kyocha's been 1v1ing Lockdown and then also Duck on the Sylvanas, if he can make that happen, they could turn this around.
Yeah, Kyocha jumping into the backline and putting the pressure on Falstad and also Sylvanas, that was definitely, in a lot of these fights, absolutely a game changer. And the one time that we see Tempest pick that fight, it was because Tracer was dodged. It was very well done and executed here. At this point, of course, though, we have both of the teams on level 20, very even footing, disregarding the one keep in the mid lane. So Tempest still has all the chance in the world to turn this around. What they need is a big victory in these team fights, though.
Yeah, and just keep in mind, guys, the bosses are only going to be split in timing by roughly 10 seconds of their spawn, meaning that when one boss is going to be up, both the teams can typically get the pressure. Tempest only spawns by 10 seconds earlier, so we'll see if they try and find a way to be able to abuse that in a couple of minutes here. For now, the team's going to be backing out, getting the camps, getting pressure over them, but with mid keep down, again, MVP is going to have pressure over the map. I'd like to see them try and clear the side lanes a bit more so they have more control and vision over their opponents, which you see them now deciding to go and do.
The top lane once again being deep pushed. Kyocha's here now, and we are having at the same time a bit of an isolation. ETC might be in trouble. Hong needs to be careful. Zion went in though. Everybody is just grouping up as Kyocha is once again looking for the backline, trying to maybe go for a quick flank here, but they are both backing up. There's no real need to fight here just yet, and they're looking for a better opportunity with better positioning.
Again, all these teams are worried about our bosses. That's again kind of the weird situation you get in when it comes to Cursed Hollow. Is the curse is going to be really effective when you get to later half the game, but bosses are really what kind of locks them down. And so they're trying to wait it out here. We have on the bottom half of the map, the boss is going to be 57 seconds. And for the MVP Black side of the map boss, it's only going to be 1 minute and 5.
Also, very big asset, of course, for Tempest will be the Epic Mount on Falstad. There's a lot of plays that Lockdown can make right now, and he is scary on this hero. And once he has the mobility, he can do so much more. Tribute on the map. Of course, it is only the first tribute for MVP Black or the second tribute for Tempest with this curse rotation right now, so the teams don't have to go for it. But if you get the chance to get a good position against the opponent and get an isolation kill, you will always take it.
Expect Kyocha to try.
Look at ETC at the right side. Tracer chasing him down. Tracer moving back, turning the 5 versus 4. All of a sudden, we're seeing Tempest split completely.
Yeah, Honkono actually flanking. He does get scattered out by Kyocha, though, so they won't be able to get that positioning that maybe he would look to have gotten. I really feel like that was an aggressive move. He was going to be trying to get that flank and get a very good mosh pit on his opponents, but the Wailing Arrow and 7-sided strike coming out.
Here comes also the ult once again on the side of Tracer, trying to drop the backline. Again, not happening here, but look at that kill against Merlin. Well done. A great Mighty Gust saving Domi. Hong was even trying to go for the mosh pit here, but Rich is barely escaping, or is he, since everybody is already jumping after him. And unbelievable as it is, he is is able to escape, but it costs Murden and Sylvanas alive. MVP, what are they doing here? They get a triple kill. It looked like they would lose at least 2 more heroes there set up. They save everyone. Take down Sylvanas, take down Sonya. Hyde explodes and it opens up the bosses on the map for MVP Black.
Kyocha actually getting stunned out here, taking a lot of damage from Lockdown, but not going to be able to secure that kill. Will it pull MVP off this boss? I don't think so. Mary Day, oh, but the flight! He recalls! He dodges the auto attack! Oh my gosh, he dodges the auto attack. He's going to be able to survive. 7-sided strike coming out, and that boss is going to fall over to MVP!
What is happening here? Another double kill. The aggressive play from Lockdown. He nearly gets a kill against Tracer. Unbelievable dodge by Kyocha. The double kill from MVP Black. 21 kills against 9. Boss at the top lane. Rich moving in already. MVP, they won their lead and they are going to be able to get it. At least they should be. Only 3 heroes will be back to defend here.
Yeah, that's a 22-minute boss. At this point in the game, that thing hits like a truck. Gust isn't going to be up as a defensive tool for some time here. They have to fight MVP and get a couple of kills. Otherwise, this is going to be game over. They are moving into the core. The Sundering is going to split them up, and that is going to be one dead puppy falling down. MVP Black is going to win this game, Kaldor.
MVP Black is going to take it. Duck down to 23 kills against 9. Dami with no chance whatsoever. Here's the victory for MVP Black, taking 2 in a row against Tempest. What a play, and what a play for Boss in the end there. 3 kills and Tracer. Oh my God, Red.
The amount of harassment that he was able to get on his opponents, constantly isolating them, making Tempest make bad decisions. Without a doubt, I feel like MVP for that game was Kyocha.
What a series here. Tempest taking the first game. MVP Black for a moment. They looked shocked. They looked shaken. But now they are back and they are really putting Tempest in their play now.
The amount of damage MVP Black was able to do in that game. When we look at some of the numbers, we see Rich is at top with 62,000. Then we have Sake with 55. And then Kyocha actually only had 50, but he secured the most amount of kills for his team.
Exactly. And the backline kills as well. He didn't put the pressure onto the tanks in most of the situations. He jumped the backline for those plays and for the kills there. And when we're talking kills, we're talking 24 against 9. But guys, that was only the 3rd map. We have 1, potentially even 2 more. And first of all, we're going to hear from our analysts about game number 3 here in Cursed Hollow.